Bellevue Police Chief Steve Mylett is speaking publicly now for the first time since he was falsely accused of sexual assault.
Mylett was reinstated to his job this week after a 3-month investigation by Bothell Police cleared him of any wrongdoing. King 5's Elisa Hahn joins us live from the newsroom with what he had to say today. Elisa.
Lori and Mark, Chief Mylett became emotional at a press conference today, having been exonerated of the sexual assault accusation. He said that the whole ordeal has given him new perspective and will actually make him a better chief.
I cannot express my gratitude enough for everyone who offered prayers and expressions of support for my family and I during the past 3 months. I thank each and every one of you.
Hard to imagine what Chief Steve Mylett endured these last 3 months under heavy public scrutiny and a rape investigation.
There was a lot of things that my wife and I discussed and dealt with, and the what ifs and everything else. And there was fear, there was anxiety, culminating with tremendous relief and gratitude that the members of the Bothell Police Department did such an exceptional job rooting out the truth.
This week, Bothell Police released a 56-page report exonerating Mylett of sexual assault. They say a 44-year-old woman came up with an elaborate story that the two of them met online through a sex networking website. She even faked emails and forensic evidence.
The emails that she submitted to us after we did the forensics analysis are completely doctored.
I think the process of the claims that were made against me worked, and I think another process will take place, and I'm confident that the right decisions will be made.
Prosecutors declined to file charges when the same woman accused another Bellevue detective of rape. They dismissed multiple charges against another officer, John Kivlin, after evidence the woman provided didn't hold up. Both men admit to having relationships with her. Both resigned from the department. In Mylett's case, investigators found no sign he had ever met the accuser. He said the ordeal taught him compassion.
I have a deeper appreciation of what it means to be falsely accused. I also have a deeper appreciation of what it's like to be on administrative leave. And I think it will make me a better chief and a better human being.
Bothell Police recommended charges of perjury, tampering with evidence, and making false statements against the woman. The King County Prosecutor's Office said they expect to make a decision on those charges by next week. In the newsroom, Elisa Hahn, King 5 News.